Hi, my name is Brian Dossett. Some of you know me, some of you don't. I generally do lessons inside the garage, outside. Very cold tonight, so I'm in the office. This is my office for the MAAS, the Martial Art All Stars, which serves people throughout the whole of the world. Rather than actually do any techniques tonight, I just want to give you a little lesson on how you measure life. Got a bit of a cough, nothing to do with the virus, so forgive me if I cough during this lesson. Now, when we're babies, between 1 and 3, we're finding ourselves. What I mean by that, if you look at a young baby between 1 and 3, it fiddles about with itself, it puts its fingers up its nose, in its ears, touches its ears, its nose. It's investigating its body. In reality, it's finding about itself. And then we, over the years, explain to them what that is and what that is, and help them develop through those few years. They never think about death, of course, they've just been born. But when they get about 4, 5, 6, up to about 12, they become kids, and all kids play. We played when we was that age, and our children and our grandchildren and our great-grandchildren at that age will play. They keep themselves very busy. They never wonder about death. They might hear about heaven up in there with the clouds, which many people over the years believe in, and a lot of people don't believe in. People have got a question mark on it. In my case, I can't see how, looking up to the billions of stars in the universe, that we, a tiny little star like they are, looking down to us, how Earth is the only planet, is the only star that's got life on it. I can't believe that. So I believe there's something in the universe which we may go to, our spirit, our soul, whatever we think's inside us, will go only when we die. Some people believe that, some people don't, but it doesn't matter. It's something that we have to live with during our lifetime. And when you're 4 to 12 years of age, you hear stories at school about those kind of things. They call it heaven. Nanny's gone to heaven. Daddy's gone to heaven. Whoever's died has gone to heaven. And when we're kids, we think they've got wings and there's some kind of angel up there, which is nice at that time. But when we become 13 and 16, we start experimenting. We still never consider death. Some of us might, if we've experienced it or seen funerals, but we go to these funerals and then we forget about it and then just carry on. But we never really sit down and think about when we die. Our individual thoughts belong to us in our private times. Now, when you become young people between 17 and 20, things start to change. We start creating relationships, getting involved with relationships. We start thinking about the careers, our future. We become our own persons. In some cases, we rebel. We've all heard about the teenage rebel having different things compared to the older people. The older people never understand the younger people because their life isn't the same as theirs. But it doesn't matter what relationship you're in, you cannot ever push away death. And that means attending funerals, and seeing what goes on in the funeral. It could be families, it could be friends. But when we're 21 to about 30, we start putting all that together. We start building on the relationship we may have. Some people keep away from relationships because they've seen bad relationships surrounding them. We start courting our girlfriends, boyfriend if you're a girl. And that courtship leads to serious relationships, living together, and even marriage under different faiths and different religions. In some cases, we're lucky that one person we're with them all our life, staying together until death do us part. Ha ha ha. Anyway, some relationships separate and break up. Some break up good, some break up bad, leaving the children stuck in the middle of that relationship. And although the two people were broken up, the children love both of them, but they find it very difficult living within that circle. So some people are lucky and some people are not. We are always comparing other people, the way they live, how they get there, how they got there. It becomes a competition. But whatever it is, it's all about making decisions, decision making. And when we get 40 to 50, we become middle-aged. And this is where that measurement of life comes in. I'll be using a ruler in a moment, a simple ruler, to put my understanding into action. Those who are lucky continue what they're doing, what they have been doing for all the years, and the unlucky ones have to restart again. They have to replan. They have to start changing their ways, finding new ways. And the past experience will help them do that. The more experience you have, the better chance you've got. I am on my second marriage. My first marriage didn't work out. And I think it's because I was too young and did not listen to my parents, who told me, you're too young. You're not responsible enough yet at 20 years of age. How true that was. But then I remarried. Mind you, from that first marriage I had 3 wonderful children who I still see and still love. And from them I've got grandchildren and I've got great-grandchildren. So I've got quite a big family. But I've become a stranger with them all because of the relationship wasn't as it should be. I find it very difficult to enjoy the relationships with my grandchildren, my children, my grandchildren and my great-grandchildren, which is very difficult through the situation of the first breakup. And there's millions out there like that. So it's very, 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 very difficult. But finding new ways and putting all my past experiences into action, I can only live on hope, and my second marriage has been very successful, married for 50 years. So I've got 5 children, 2 from my present marriage and 3 from my other marriage. I've got 18 grandchildren and I think about 28 great-grandchildren. So with all of them, some I know more than others, have all got their problems which enter my brain, although they may not know it, enter your brain, and you wonder how they're getting on, how this person's getting on. You hear some break up there, some marriages break up here, some relationships break up there, some are good, you have your deaths, all kinds of things. When you get to 55 to 60, you start giving advice to the people around you, including your friends. Your body starts wearing out. You have to cope with the situations. And I've learnt one thing, I try and do my best to make sure that I have no problems. I have situations at different levels, but I will make sure, and I'll give advice to this, do not allow a situation to become a problem. Easy said. I have families, I have friends. I have my own personal family, my martial art family. And one thing for sure, I've found that the bigger you are, the bigger they get, the bigger the problems, the more the problems. And martial arts is no exception to that fact. I've got a big martial art family, and believe me, there's a lot of problems within that big circle. But I have to deal with it. But my inner thoughts, at 55 to 60, you start thinking about death. You can't help it. You've seen so many funerals, you've seen so many deaths. So what do? Who gets the benefits out of all your life's savings, all your life's work? Decision making comes into play again. And really, you've been making decisions at different levels right from the age of 12. The right and wrong of things. But it becomes a little bit different when you've got your whole life to hand to somebody else. You have to start thinking to yourself and becoming selfish. I don't think I'm a selfish person, but I have got to start becoming selfish now. And I'll explain to that with a ruler in a moment. So please bear with me for this lesson. As I said, you start at my age, starting getting 40 years of age, for example, you might start getting problems with your bones. Your bones start to wither. Your understanding of death starts to become highlighted. You have to start thinking about who gets what when you go. It's called a will. I'm not advertising wills, by the way. I'm just giving you the idea that I'm in a situation now where I've got to make a will. And everybody who gets to my age will have to do this, whether you like it or not. Watching others making the same mistakes as you made, and you know that that mistake won't be heard. You might give them advice and they don't listen. I didn't listen to my parents, and when I'm giving advice, my children and grandchildren and great-grandchildren, when I give advice, they listen but they don't hear. They look and they don't see, and in many cases they touch but they don't feel. We all know what that means. So your hands are tied. All you can do is give advice, hoping that they won't make the same mistake that you made. I'm 80 years old now. In a few months' time I'll be 81. I can only live on hope. I still have my inner thoughts about my life's work. And this is where the ruler comes in. I'm not very technically minded, as most of you know. Computers to me, I can't handle. Mobile phones I hate, because mainly they have made that piece of tool, that piece of equipment, their lives. Without that bit of equipment, they'll commit suicide. And it's got its advantages, but the problem is that they have allowed this piece of equipment to rule their lives. Rule their lives. So this might help you to understand. It starts at O and it finishes at 12. It's a 12-inch ruler. I can't stand all the centimetres and centimetres and kilos and everything else. I know I have to live with it. Like I have to live with changes. Now, for example, in my days, I'm not digging at anybody here, I'm just giving you the facts of what went in my mind, what in my thoughts during that period on people who are homosexual. Years ago, back in the 50s and 60s, that just was out. That wasn't even discussed. Today, it is discussed and it's open. And all the older people like myself, the majority of them, have still got their old thoughts and their old feelings and their own opinions, and they're allowed to have those opinions. But we have to also live with the times. So although we might not agree with something, it doesn't mean to say we're not going along with it. Don't like it, but going along with it. And that's all part of life. There's things in life you don't like, you don't want, you don't need. Our wants and our needs are completely different. So there we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Whereabouts am I? If I'm born at 0 and I die at 12, whereabouts am I on that particular ruler? I think 11. So out of all them inches, I've got 1 inch left. 1 inch, that's all I've got. What can I do in 1 inch? I've done all them things. Ups and downs, failures, successes, heartbreaks, joys, laughter, tears. But now I've got 1 inch. Am I allowed to live that 1 inch as I want to live it? Or have I got to spend that 1 inch on looking after other people's problems, other people's situations? They've allowed the situation to become a problem and they go to this particular person, the granddaddy or the daddy, to help out. And we know that all the advice we give them, they weren't taking the notice of. If they do, great. But I've got 1 inch. I'll try to finish this little lesson off by asking you a question. Whereabouts are you on that ruler? Wherever you put yourself on that ruler, look at what you've done. What have you learned, if anything? And can you change by using all that experience, your life into a better life before you get to that 1 inch? Because I've only got 1 inch left. That could be 5 years, it could be 10 years. I don't know. But when I go, I'll be leaving behind many years of hard work, hard graft. I haven't had it easy. I've lived in boxes. I've been in mental homes. I've been in hospitals. I've had breakdowns. I've had all kinds of things. But I am where I am through damn hard work. And there's nothing wrong in hard work. I have got gout, I have got prostate problems, I have got acid reflux, I have got rheumatism, lumbago, I've got bad necks, I can't break fall like I used to do, I can't garden like I used to, I can't do things that I used to be able to, and it's so annoying. But I have to live with it. But it's called old age. And all I want is 1 inch to be able to enjoy my old age. So whereabouts are you on that ruler? I went to Spain a few years ago and I went to a vegetable shop with my wife and asked for a pound of potatoes in that shop. And the Spanish guy who couldn't speak English said, no, well, he could speak English but not good. We only sell kilo. And I said to him, okay, can I have a pound of kilos then, please? Alright. So So it's a little bit of a joke I made up. I think it's funny anyway. But 1 inch, the measurement of life. Where are you on that ruler? What do you intend to do while you're on that ruler? No matter how good we are as people, as martial artists, as fighters, there's one person, one thing rather, that you can't beat no matter how good you are, and that is death. So we're born, we live, and we die. And the question is, how are you going to put all those three together like I have by using a 12-inch ruler? You take care, God bless, bear in mind we've had so much bad things this year, 2020. We've seen so many unnecessary deaths, all because of some person who made a mistake in another country. It affected the whole of the world and the thousands of people that died over that one mistake. So if you do make a mistake, don't hide it. Fetch it up, look at it, and make sure you don't make that mistake again. And above all, try and tell your loved ones not to make the same mistakes as well. Bye bye, God bless, have a nice Christmas if you can. See you soon. I'm going to have a nice cup of tea now, green tea, have a bath, lay in bed. It's 9 o'clock, film should be on soon, and I'm going to spend that 1 inch, a little bit of that 1 inch, watching a 9 o'clock film in bed.